Wilson Morales, blackfilmandtv.com. Mr. Sorkin, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? It's great to see you.
Good. Obviously you have such a big cast, but I'm going to focus on Yaha. And you could have just made this the Chicago 7 and pick up from when Bobby left and just take it from there. But why was it important for you to not only include Bobby Seale, but also Fred Hampton?
Yeah. Okay. So, just for people who don't know, there are actually 8 members of the Chicago 7. And the reason why they were called the Chicago 7 was out of respect for Bobby Seale, who wasn't part of this group. And his movement was a different movement from their movement. So it was a statement. Nobody wanted to disrespect Bobby by calling them the Chicago 8. To answer your question, it was incredibly important that Bobby's story be included in there. It was a man, you could not break this guy. He was treated as unfairly, I was going to say as unfairly as a black man has ever been treated in the courtroom, but I'm sure he's got quite a bit of competition in that area. And even when he is bound and gagged and, let's face it, beaten by those U.S. Marshals when they're putting the shackles on him and when they're gagging him, he would not break. He nods his head no when the judge asks him, basically, will he behave himself? I would never have skipped over his story. I am glad, with regard to Fred Hampton, I shouldn't be selling somebody else's movie, but I'm glad that there's a film coming out either later this year or early 2021 with Daniel Kaluuya about Fred Hampton and exactly what happened that night. Because we're really only able to glance against that story. For me to tell the full Fred Hampton story, I'd have to kind of leave the Chicago 7 for an hour to tell Fred's story. But while I think that if you lined up 10 screenwriters and asked them to write about this trial, you could get 10 very different screenplays, 10 very different points of view, 10 different things that are important to that writer. I don't think anyone would ever write this without telling Bobby's story.
And so if you could say briefly, having done obviously A Few Good Men and Molly's Game, doing a courtroom drama is not new for you. How do you make that entertaining?
Well, I've my whole life I've loved courtroom drama since I was a little kid. I just love it. I love it as a writer because the parts of drama are so clearly laid out. The intention and the obstacle, the two sides, the stakes. The jury is a stand-in for the audience because they know as little as the audience does about the facts of the story that you're telling. And just the dynamic of a lawyer cross-examining a witness is inherently dramatic. If there was a way to do it, I would have been much more comfortable spending the entire film in the courtroom. I get nervous when you go outside the 4 walls, and the idea that I had to basically stage battle scenes in this film was terrifying to me, but got a lot of help.
Mr. Sorkin, it's good talking to you. Keep up the great work. We'll talk.
Very good talking to you, Wilson. And from now on, it's Aaron. Okay.
Sorry about that.
No problem. I like you. Thank you. Great talking to you.
Bye.